I'm Darren. I'm a flautist and also composer. I'm originally from Singapore, but I'm now living in London. So this is where I live at the moment. So first impressions of the score. Actually, I have to be very honest, because I'm a composer as well as a flautist. My very first reaction when I saw Andrew's score was informed by the composer half of me, which said that, or which felt that it was an extremely unique and also very, very effective score. Partly because like the format of virtual performances is a sort of performance format that we've seen very often, especially in this past year. Um, it's done all over the place, most of the time as a sort of alternative to live performances. But with Andrew's piece, you can really sense that he has written this piece specifically for virtual performance. And I think it works very, very well. I can sort of, I mean, on a technical level, I can actually sort of, break this down and in a way attribute this to the aleatoric nature of the piece, where each performer plays his or her own part in his own time. And therefore all the parts are sort of independent of one another, and yet on a macro level, they kind of work as well. So yeah, it it was really enjoyable to look at, to listen to, and to play ultimately. So when it actually got down to performing the piece, that's when my flautist half sort of kicked in. And I have to admit though, I didn't really have any like unique individual images that popped up, but rather the things that I imagined or heard were mostly influenced by the material, the reference material that we received as preview, as a form of preview to the performance, which involved video clips of images like waves crashing in, or trees, or the sky. And actually what struck me about these clips was the length of the takes on top of just the images themselves. These takes were quite long and quite still as well. And there was a rather meditative quality to it, which I latched onto, and which sort of translated into the way I played. So yeah, that was that was my take on it as a performer. It's really fun. So first of all, I have to say that it's to me, it's a really interesting title because it speaks to me on so many levels. And I think it has a sort of double meaning for a performer like myself. So first of all, the phrase tuning in could refer to multiple people coming into a common space, usually by virtual or digital means. When we talk about like tuning into a broadcast or tuning into a performance, even though these people are physically apart. And the second meaning has a slight musical connotation to it. And when we, so for instance, when we hear the word tuning in music, it refers to the synchronization of pitch. And so in a way that sort of, extends to this form of virtual performance as well, where we are technically sort of synchronizing with one another, even though we are physically apart as well. And I think, as a performer in COVID times, it's always very, very encouraging when you know that even though you are in your own space playing your own part, there's always someone at the other end of the world that is technically playing along with you. So that was a thought that I latched onto as well as I was playing,
Just
because in a way it brings people together from different places, different countries, and it's something that you won't be able to achieve even in a concert hall. It's also nice to have pieces that are written very much customized to the format of a virtual performance, because we see virtual performances happening all over the place, but they are most of the time used as alternatives to live performance, and it's very different.